instead of declaring war against poverty, unemployment, corruption, and the crime that is taking place inside the country. Well, that was not the case with the re-elected president of DA yesterday. He have just declared a war against the EFF of Julius Malema. But for what reason? Well, we're going to find out in this video, because we have some reasons, or shall I say, some revelations that we're going to make in this video to make you understand why John have to come and declare an open war against EFF of Julius Malema. Before we even get to engage ourselves in this conversation, here is what the president of DA had to say yesterday after he's re-elected to the head of his political party.
And today, I publicly declare Julius Malema's EFF to be political enemy number one of the Democratic Alliance. And I commit the DA to fight back against the EFF at every turn, with the ultimate aim of defeating the doomsday coalition that could seal South Africa's fate next year. This is no longer about politics, Democrats. It's about the survival of democracy and the survival of South Africa. Throughout this period of this leadership campaign, I have reflected deeply upon the risk of the EFF coming to power and the demands that this places on the DA. I approach this question in my capacity as leader of the Democratic Alliance, carefully considering what we need to do to maximize our party's support in next year's election. But I also approached it in another way, a way that is demanded of me by our country's constitution. In clause 57, our constitution recognizes, and I quote, the leader of the largest opposition party in Parliament as the leader of the opposition, unquote. Now, it's a clause that may not be known by many people, but it is one that has profound implications for our moonshot we are about to take to defeat the prospect of an ANC and EFF coalition.
Well, that is the re-elected president of DA, Mr. John. Now, guys, just to bring this to our attention, let's say, for an example, that declaring a war against poverty, unemployment, corruption, and many more bad things that we are facing today as a nation is not a big deal, or should I say DA, they are not interested in all that. The question you need to ask is to know, is the EFF the right target that would make the DA to forget about all these issues that the country is facing, for them to go ahead and declare an open war against EFF? Even if they want to do so, why they did not do that with the ANC? Because this is how it's supposed to be, as number one opposition political party in a country. You don't need to fight people who are within the opposition part, in the opposition side as you are. Instead, you have to, you are forced to fight against all the bad things that the ruling government might fail. That is when, or shall I say, that is where you coming in as a opposition political party. But get to see all this happening, or all this being said, it is more obvious that the DA, they have missed the target that they seem to always pretend on how they want to help people of South Africa. And they have to go and attack the EFF. This is a very strong statement, guys. Because by the end of this video, you're going to understand the reason why John have to come and make this announcement. They have to come and declare a war against EFF. Why? Well, reason number one, it is because EFF, it is a threat for the DA. For those who always watch us time to time, you will remember I always tell you that right now in the opposition political parties that we are having there is a serious battle. And this Cold War, it is between the firstborn, which is the DA, and the secondborn, which is the EFF. You guys, you get to see, I mean, you heard me saying that DA, they don't want to give the first opposition political party to the EFF. Because if that have to happen, it will be a very big disappointment for people out there, especially for the open eye master, because they know very well that they've been in the opposition for so many years, since the ANC took power in this country. DA, they always be there. And for them, they feel like they have grown up enough roots to the point that whoever will come and claim themselves as a political party, opposition political party, they are not going to have the same advantage as the one DA they are having. And they believe that they are there and they will always be there. It is either they rule the country or either they will always be number one as a opposition political party. On other side, we are having a EFF, a small political party yesterday, which had about 15 members in the parliament. And today, in less than 10 years, they have managed to jump from 15 members in the parliament to 44 members in the parliament. And that is not a joke, because there's still many opposition political party who always sit in that parliament. But yet, they've never been able to have enough members in the parliament as much the EFF they do have. Some of them, they only represent themselves. You are the president of a political party, it is only you. And you don't have other members. Hence, you guys will get to see ANC having a very massive majority in the parliament, because all those single members of the different political opposition, different political parties, all of them, they feel like they need to be where there is biscuit, so that they will be able to benefit as well. Because remember, running a political party is not a joke. Running a political party is something that comes with a lot of sacrifice, especially it needs you to be stable financial. So that's when you get to see this all small political parties, all of them running to the majority sides, because they're not there. It pays much better than when you are in the opposition political party. So, seeing the EFF the way they grow up from zero, from nothing to where they are today, it is something that was sending a strong message to DA. In other words, it was indeed a threat for DA, because they get to see that if we don't work hard, if we don't do something about this, we must not be surprised tomorrow if we sleep and wake up to find out that the EFF, they have taken over. They have took over the whole situation, whether it is in the opposition party or whether it is even in the other institutions of the country. So, obviously, they were not going to take it for light. Obviously, they were not going to just sit and relax and watch EFF. And they get to see how the EFF is coming in their numbers. And they're like, this is about time. And these things, it is today John getting the courage to come and talk loudly that he have declared a war against the EFF of Julius Malema. Okay, fine. Since if it that the EFF that the right target for him and not what the country is facing as crisis, well, that makes sense. But what really motivates him to say so? Because this thing did not start today. This war, it is now is making it more official. But for those who always watch us, you get to understand that I have told you guys about this several times in different videos that I made. I told you on how DA, they've been fighting EFF for some times now without having any reasons. Yes, we did have a conversation about this, isn't it? For those who always watch us will remember. I spoke about this. The time when DA they declared to go and march at Lutuli House. I remember very well EFF under the leadership of Julius Malema. They came forward telling DA that marching at Lutuli House is not a good idea. Because Lutuli House is just like you are marching to a private yard. And that is not where the solution will come. If you want to march about the load shedding that the country is facing, then you should go and march at the right places. And one of the places that the EFF they had said back then, it was at ESCOM, where they went also in 2018. So, just because you are dealing with the firstborn of the opposition political party, who's full of arrogance, who's full of himself, who believe that you as a young man, you don't have much to say. If I have decided what I decided for is what's going to happen. They decided to go ahead and have this march, which they did not even have time to call for any political party to join them or even call for the whole country. Instead, they all call it as a DA march. It only took place, if I'm not mistaken, in Johannesburg and in Cape Town. Well, what should we say? We all knew what happened at that day, where they had to go and face the ANC members, youth members who were there waiting for them. We all saw what happened. Let's put that aside. After they had marched, we all know that when you march, you are expecting for your voice to be heard. And then they went on and marched. Instead of their voice being heard, surprisingly, the following day, the load shedding moved from stage 2, if I'm not mistaken, to stage 6. And I spoke about it, saying that this is how you get a mass call answer. This is a way of people trying to respond back to you and saying that, okay, you want to show us who you are? Fine. Here's what we have for you. And that is how that march of DA was sabotaged, isn't it? Now, beside that, all those kind of defeats as a political party is not something that a political party such as a DA will take it lightly. Because on other side, after then, EFF, they have to announce for the national shutdown. At first, it sounded like it was a joke, until when it started having serious impact among the nation. Everyone, they get to talk about it. Everyone, they get to ask themselves questions to know whether I'm going to work on that day or not, whether you're going to open the shop or not. And that impact national shutdown had on the population. It made the DA to panic. It made the DA to feel like if we let these people, they go ahead with this national shutdown and they get to succeed, things is not going to look good for us. Well, we spoke about it again. And we told you some of the reasons why they have to do all that. And one of those reasons was to make you understand that DA, they have something to benefit if this national shutdown called by EFF have to fail. So the way the national shutdown was having impact, they were not aware that it was going to fail. Therefore, the DA, they were the first one to jump in. Not even the state, not even the ruling party, but them, they have to jump in and ring out the alarm to start calling this national shutdown as an act of violence, as an act of looting. They start changing a peaceful prostate into a looting. All this, it was just a way of them trying to make this national shutdown get to fail. And they did all the campaign. They went to court, guys. They called, they asked the court to declare this national shutdown as unlawful, something which is lawful according to the constitution of the country. But DA had all the courage to go to the court and asking the court to declare this national shutdown as an unlawful act. When they were marching at Lutuli House, it was not unlawful. When they take any kind of activities, it was not unlawful. When ANC march against them, it was not unlawful. So it became unlawful, or should I say, the rule of unlawful against a peaceful prostate has to happen only when EFF have to go on the streets. I believe most of you had even asked yourself a question to know what is the DA have to win from all this, because people are supposed to be doing these things. They're supposed to be the ruling party, ANC, because they're the one who've been affected, and the president of Republic, because his name was mentioned. And one of the reasons why Julius Malema with EFF, they had called for the national shutdown, it was because of the load shedding and the president to step aside from the office, of course. So what that has to do with DA of John? Nothing linked them together. But John had the courage to do all that because he knew already that if EFF have to succeed with this, that will make them become officially the first opposition political party. And what about us? Now, when you get to listen to his full speech as he was trying to talk about this open war against EFF, he mentioned something very important, which I'm so surprised. I don't know what kind of mathematics he came out with. Because in his speech, he keep on confirming that the upcoming general election in 2024, ANC is going to drop below 50%. Therefore, DA should be ready. So we will be going to the we are going to have a coalition government, and therefore number one enemy for him is EFF. He preferred to work with this one, how do you call it, SA Action, what, you know, and these other small minority parties that we get to see. And then of course you get to listen to his way of talking that is even willing to work again with the ANC. But as for the EFF, it is a no for him. Well, that is normal. But he keep on insisting, saying that they are going to be a coalition government. Then my question to him is to know, what if ANC get to surprise you? Because all this mathematics, it is because of what the ruling party or the government, they have failed to people of South Africa so far. And when you go on the street, you ask people, you get to see people giving their point of view. You know, even if you run a poll, you get to see how people, they are voting against the ruling party and everything. And that gives them the courage to think that the ANC is doomed. What if ANC get to change things in the last minute? Because remember, a game is not over until 90 minutes. And we all know what can happen in football. You can even score in the last minute. You score, they put the football in the center, the referee whistle, and the game is finished. So what if ANC get to do some magic? Because guys, we're talking about ANC. They have been there for so many years. Do you think that they'll just sit? Do you think that they're gonna just sit and look everything's leaving them like that? Do you think that the ANC, they are happy to be sitting the coalition government in the metros and the municipalities and different places? They're not happy. That is the reason why you get to see them fighting. So that was just a question I was asking. What if the ANC get to surprise you? You get to see John, the way he speak. You will understand that this man, he have something against EFF. And that's one thing, according to our understanding, is for the fact that EFF with Julius Malema, they have turned their backs against DA in all these Mpopalate saga and Tswana, different places that they've been running, removing DA mayors and replacing them with minority parties. Forgetting that if the EFF have done so, it is for the obvious reasons. It is for the obvious reason that DA are full of arrogance. And they still want to treat EFF like no one. Forgetting that that small number of councillors that EFF does have, it is something that can give you also power to run a metro. Now, instead of solving the problem, he just decided to declare a war against them. Well, we shall wait and see what will happen. But him acknowledging that next year we'll be having a coalition government, is that the mission of a political party? Because as far as I know, an opposition political party, their mission is to run the country. Their mission is to sit on top, have a president, have a majority in the parliament, as we get to see with the ANC. So obviously you can tell that them, they have given up. They knew already that it is impossible for them to take again over this country. And they can see that the EFF is coming. If the ANC will have to leave power tomorrow, the ANC will leave power in the hands of EFF. That is what all analysts on the table, they are saying the same things. It will be the ANC going out, the EFF taking over. So, John saying all this or declaring this war against EFF is not for a simple reason. No. This is a very obvious reason. Because they can get to see that if we don't fight EFF now, tomorrow, EFF of Julius Malema, they might be ruling this country. Either they will take the presidency, either they will have the majority in the parliament, and if they have one of those two, we are doomed. Especially if Julius Malema become the president of this country. So it's just like the way you get to see in the Bible, they ask a question between Thomas and Barabbas, which one do you prefer? Which one do you choose? So right now, I have feelings that DA, they get to see that we rather deal with ANC than dealing with EFF. We rather have ANC as a ruling party than having EFF as a ruling party. We rather have ANC because we get to talk to them, we get to speak to them, and they get to listen to us. Proof to that, EFF with Julius Malema, they called for the national shutdown 2 months before the event took place. No one talk about it. ANC, they never even comment about it. They have to wait until last minute when DA stood against this to start fighting the national shutdown. That is when the ANC, they start now coming up together as a ruling party, sending Becky Taylor on the street with military cars, calling all of them, like the whole cabinet, calling the national security meeting, doing all those kind of things in the last minute after the DA have done something. So in other words, DA, whether they are smaller than ANC, they get to influence the ANC. They get to have this lobbying that they manifest each and every time that the ruling party, they have to pay attention to. So they're kind of like looking and saying that if we have to deal with EFF, what will us be tomorrow? Because EFF, their message is loud and clear. And they've been saying this for time to time. We don't have problem with you. The only problem we have with you, just know that there is other human being out there as much as you are. The day you acknowledge that, the peaceful time that you will have, and they don't want to take that. So obviously, the choice is now more clear that DA prefer to work with the ANC than the EFF. Now, the next question, or should I say the last point I want to discuss with you, is to ask a question. Is the EFF afraid of engaging in Cold War, in an open war with the DA? Because now the DA, they came loud in the media calling for this war against EFF as they have just declared it. So now the question is the EFF afraid of DA? The answer is no. The answer is no. Do you know why? Because the EFF, when you get to look their politics, the way they do it, they are not afraid of anyone. Whether it is the ruling party, whether it is the former president, whether it is the current president, whether it is the opposition political party, they are there. They are there. So, I believe very soon, the president of EFF will also react to that. I believe they will have to give their position as well about what John have said. Then we'll be back again to tell you. But one of the big mistake DA they have made through that announcement is for the fact that they will never gonna vote anything in that parliament successful against ANC without the help of EFF. Yes, you guys will get to see many times, because one thing I like about these politicians is that, opposition party, of course, it's for the fact that they get to talk, they can disagree, but they can also agree on things that they know is benefiting all of them. For example, cancer, we get to see all of them voting against that. Pala saga, we get to see all of them, they put their differences aside and vote as one opposition political party. But now that one of them decided to declare a war against another political party, what will happen? Will the EFF just be that good boy to go and support the DA, knowing that these people are considering us as the first enemy? Not even the ANC as the ruling party, but us as opposition political party. Yet they've been considering us as their enemy. You know what? At the end of the day, it is the ANC who's still going to win. Yes, the ANC is still going to win, because each and every vote that DA or any motion that they'll put in the parliament, I don't see the EFF they'll vote with them. Same also, I don't see the DA will vote anything against, with the EFF. They already started. Recently, you saw when the EFF called for the Madam Speaker in the parliament to, when they put a motion of no confidence against her about what happened in the previous State of the Nation, the DA, they refused to vote. They remain neutral. And that give already advantage to the ANC, since that they will still remain the majority in the parliament. And Madam Speaker, she's still there. So you get to see already that this war did not start today. It started some times ago. Now that they declare it open, well, we're going to see what the EFF will also respond back in return. But for us, we believe that this is just wasting of time. This is just wasting of energy, because the country is facing serious challenges that where we're supposed to be seeing all political party, whether you are from the majority, whether you are from the opposition, you're supposed to be sitting one place and coming up with some interesting benefit or solution that will help the people of this country to be at peace. Instead, that is not the case. Now we get to see some open war against political parties. Well, I believe you are having your vote, isn't it? You still have your vote. And the day you're going to vote, no one is going to put the gun on your face. So you'll know on how to sanction those who deserve to be sanctioned and do the right thing because of your future. Thank you so much for watching your video until now. We really do appreciate you having your time here with us. If this is your first time to be here, don't leave without making sure that you subscribe to the channel. It is very important, because this is what we do in this channel time to time, where we get to look on the trending news and trending topic in the country or around the world and sit down, have a conversation about it. So we are not here to talk some nonsense, but we are here to talk things that will really benefit you in one way or another, because you deserve to know the truth. So that's why we are encouraging you to make sure that you subscribe to the channel and turn your notification button on, so that you don't miss any of our videos. But above all, to everyone who are watching us, make sure that you like this video. Give us your thumbs up before you leave watching this video. Like this video, we really do appreciate it. It's a way of you also supporting us. And I'm encouraging everyone who want also to support us financially. Please feel free to join our membership group that we get to see you guys coming through. Thank you so much for those who've been supporting us. If you want to know perhaps how to do so, you see that icon, the money, the US dollar icon. Well, you just have to click on it and you'll get all the details there, and you'll see which membership that you would like to come through, as little that you feel like helping us with. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. My name is Dobsin Nyembe, for those who don't know me, and I'm here to keep you informed and entertain you at the same time, and give you my best analytics in my knowledge as far I know. And that is it for today. I'll see you again in our next number of the videos that will be coming live again to you soon. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.